I'm Frank Hanaway, and welcome to Big Journey, Small Steps. Well, I guess today's topic is really about equanimity, which means staying on an even keel, but I thought, well, that's a good way to kill all your views, is to call a video equanimity, which everybody doesn't even know what that means. So I put getting off the roller coaster. I have had a particularly up and down path in my life in terms of mood swings. I've had depression since I was at least 10 or 11 years old. I think when I started to go into puberty, my depression kicked in. And nobody even knew that children could have depression in those days, or if they did, we didn't know it in Riverview. And people just called me moody. And which I was, and I just loved it. I thought it meant I was special, and that I must have an artist's temperament, because I looked at Beethoven throwing a plate of beans at somebody in a restaurant, or how Chopin behaved in his relationships with other musicians, and so forth and so on, and everything was so dire. And I was into that romantic aesthetic, but I was miserable. And as frightening as the depression times were, I could get way up there. I was never diagnosed with bipolar disorder, but I could go sailing off up there. But most of my time was spent way down in there. And at 25 years old, I looked myself in the mirror one day and said, I'm tired of being miserable. My goal is to become happy. And so the rest of my life has been spent looking for happiness until about 6 years ago. And then I started to fine-tune my definition of happiness, and I realized what I really wanted was joy. I really wanted to be in a spiritual state that was not so fluid, that was fluid, that's a mistake, was not so roller coastery, that I wanted to feel okay. The Buddha does this really well, by the way. He called the word that you often hear when you hear somebody say, the Buddha says life is suffering. Well, the Buddha did say that, but the word he used for suffering, dukkha, means more like you're uncomfortable in your skin. So when you become a person who is unified with the universe, who feels their place in the universe, you don't have that uneasiness anymore. So that's what I've been going towards. And what that means is bring it in. But unfortunately, sometimes people say to you, how are you feeling? And you say, okay. And it isn't what they wanted to hear. They want you to say, oh, I feel blessed today, or I'm ecstatic, I'm so excited, this is the best day ever. Well, I'm trying to make every day good. And it isn't like you think, where it would take, or as I was afraid at the beginning, it isn't that you're taking something away from your life. You are, as it says in the Tao Te Ching, rubbing off the sharp edges. So you're just trying to take the sharp edges off. Your life is spent in service of creation, and there's joy in that. So if you can get there, but of course you have to get you out of the way. Just food for thought. I think when I really started to notice how different I was about this issue was when people would say, oh, thank God it's Friday, when I was still working. And it's funny, I recognized at one point, Saturday wasn't going to, I don't know, some frivolous, hedonistic day. I was going to get up and I was going to do all the things I can't do while I'm working. I was going to get food done. I was going to get the laundry done. I was going to go visit people that I wanted to see. I mean, all those things, you know. And that I started to see that I had a job every day, that there wasn't a separation between work and your life, that it all blended together in this beautiful tapestry, or that it could. I'm still trying to make this tapestry beautiful. Okay, that's enough about that. Anyway, I appreciate you spending this time with me. And I just love this part because I get to wish you peace and joy.